So let me start with a question. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth almost naturally while others work very hard year after year and never seem to get ahead? I used to think the difference was opportunity. I told myself, if I just had a better job or if I just found the right business idea, if I lived in the right city, then I'd financially succeed. But life has a way of teaching us lessons that we don't expect. Because here's the truth, it's not about the opportunity only, it's about what you do with the opportunity you have. So I went from basically almost broke at 20, 22, having student loans and stuff, to now aging towards 30, on my way to making 1 million. Obviously, I'm still quite far away, but I'm getting there. And that's not because I found some secret formula. It's not because I was lucky. I mean, I was lucky, but it's also because I stopped doing these 5 things that quietly keep most people stuck, broken, also frustrated. And here's the thing, you don't need to start something brand new tomorrow to change your life. You just need to stop sabotaging yourself with the wrong habits today. So let me walk you through these 5 habits that keep people poor and show you how you can break them. So, first one is quitting too soon. I used to believe that I needed a better job, bigger opportunity, yada yada, but here's what I learned the hard way. The enemy was not the lack of opportunity, the enemy was quitting too soon. Think about it. How many times have you jumped ship the moment that something got tough? Maybe it was a business idea, maybe it was a workout routine, maybe it was even a relationship. You hit resistance, and suddenly the shiny new thing on the horizon looks more appealing. It's like planting a seed and digging it up every week to check if it's growing. No wonder and nothing ever takes root. The truth is, quitting doesn't just keep you broke in money, it keeps you broke in confidence as well. So discipline is not excitement, it's what makes people rich. So the people who win are the ones who keep showing up when it's boring, when it hurts, and when the outcome is uncertain. So ask yourself this: do you want to be the person who always starts over, or the person who pushes through the valley of frustration until they finally taste the reward? Second point is the trap of seeking approval. Let me ask you this: how many dreams have died because someone else said, well, that's not really like a good idea, that's not going to work. I mean, we grow up outsourcing our confidence. We wait for our parents, our friends, or even strangers on social media to give us permission to live our own lives. But here's the problem: most people don't even have the life that we want. So I remember when I decided to quit the university I went to and that I worked so hard to get into, to hopefully get a job in aviation. I mean, my friends thought I was crazy. My parents, to some extent, too. So maybe it was a bit reckless. But had I waited for their blessing, I'd still be sitting in that university. Maybe I'd have finished it, but I wouldn't be where I am right now, being an airline pilot, making more money than I probably would have made. But obviously we don't know this, but I'm living the life that I want now. So approval is addictive, but it's also paralyzing. I mean, when you ask a dozen people for their opinion, what do you get? 12 different answers and zero clarity. Action creates clarity, not approval. So here's the real test: if everyone around you approves of your decision, it's probably too safe, too small, too ordinary. But greatness does not live in the consensus. Otherwise, everyone will be great, but everyone is mediocre by definition. So it lives in conviction. Your greatness. Point 3 is don't chase investments. Instead, build yourself. We live in a world obsessed with shortcuts. Crypto, day trading, passive income schemes make your money overnight. I mean, you've probably seen them all if you're watching this video, but let me tell you something. Multiplying money doesn't matter. if you can't earn it first. In my early 20s, I didn't have a portfolio. I basically, I didn't even have passive income. I just had me. So I bet on me. Every euro I earned went into courses, mentors, learning new skills. I didn't care about designer clothes or, fancy gadgets. Matter of fact, I still don't care. The only thing I care about now maybe is nice cars. But I haven't bought any fancy car. So I only cared about becoming the kind of person who could create value no matter where I landed. And that investment paid the highest return of my life. See if you can turn $1,000 into 10,000 through your skills. Why are you expecting the stock market to do it for you? The market gives you single digit returns. That about 7 to 9%. Your skills can give you exponential ones. I mean, I remember when I invested in my pilot's training course. It was around, I think, 80 grand. Yeah, I mean, let's say 100 grand, right? Obviously it's not easy. It's not everyone can do it. I realize that there's luck involved in being able to do this. My parents helped me with some of the cost. Some other of the cost I got a loan from a bank. But I invested that amount of money, and now I'm making around about 100,000 a year. So the ROI in that is actually insane if you think about it. There's no investment in the stock market that would give you that ROI. Yeah, that's like 100% investment, return on investment. You spend 100K, you make 100K the next, well, not the next year exactly. It took me a couple years to get where I am now financially in my job. But you know what I mean? I spent 100K, now I make 100K. And for people in the US especially, if you think about it, even with other degrees, I mean, if you do an average engineering degree anywhere in the US, I guess you spend about 30K per year. It takes you 3 years for an undergraduate. And, that's basically 90K, factoring in living expenses. So you're definitely in the $100,000 range for completing your degree. And it's not unheard of for an engineer in the US to make $100,000, probably even more, a couple of years into their job. So, frankly, and that's $100,000 investment for $100,000 return in a year. It's 100% return. So, yeah. And I mean, yes, you could say that it's not exactly 100% return because you spend 100K on education and then you make 100K your first year. Because you have to consider that you would have made money even if you didn't go to university. Yes, of course. Yes, okay, if you can account for that. But what I'm trying to say is you're making more money by having invested in yourself. So before you ask, where should I invest my money? Ask yourself, how can I invest in myself so I never run out of ways to make money? And that's another thing. Investments can go down, but when you invest in yourself, you can't really become dumber. You can't really unlearn something that you have learned. So that's why it's really important. Now, listening to broke people is another point. Would you take fitness advice from someone who never steps into the gym? I mean, of course not. But when it comes to money, people do this every single day. We listen to friends, co-workers, even family members who have never built wealth and then wonder why we stay stuck. I mean, you're following people that don't know what they're doing. Your environment is very powerful. If everyone around you doesn't earn much, complains about the economy, and treats wealth as unreachable, guess what? That becomes your ceiling. Matter of fact, there was an experiment where they put, I think, little jumping insects into a jar with a lid on top, and they could obviously jump higher than the height of the jar, but when they put the lid on top, obviously they couldn't because there was a ceiling, and they left them there for generations, and when they took the lid off, nobody could jump higher than the jar, not even the newer generation. They learned this limiting ceiling behavior. So, and it's the same with money and what other people teach you. But when you step into a room where making 1 million a year is normal, suddenly your brain starts asking, why not me? Why can't I do this? So that's why your circle is your ceiling. And sometimes, if you can't change your circle yet, you can at least change what you consume. Read books by the wealthy, watch videos from people who've done it, put yourself in proximity, even virtually. Join discords. I don't know, the mindset that you want. And that's because no advice is better than bad advice. So another point is, the wrong partner can cost you everything. Now, this one stings a bit, but it's real. The wrong partner will cost you more than any failed investments. I mean, if you think about it, your partner throughout your life is the person who you will spend the most time with. I mean, when you're young, it's your parents, your siblings, your friends. But then as time goes on, you get more distance from siblings and friends. Your parents, unfortunately, might not be there anymore. But your partner is the one that you will spend the most of your time with. So I've seen it firsthand. Talented, ambitious people on fire with potential end up with partners who, they fear that fire. Partners who say, you're working too much. Partners who whisper, money is evil. Partners that slowly, day after day, plant seeds of doubt. And what happens? That fire dies. The ambition dulls. And they start shrinking themselves into just keeping the peace. So that's really true, because you are basically the sum of the 5 closest people that you have around you. And as we said before, partner is the one who is around you for most of your life the most. So you're just going to be more like them. So here's the truth: money is power. It represents freedom, options, choices. And if your partner feels threatened by that, they'll try to clip your wings. But the right partner, they won't fear your success. They'll fuel it. They'll multiply your light, not dim it. So let me ask you this: is the person closest to you pulling you forward or holding you back? So staying poor is easy. You just quit when it gets hard. You seek approval from people who don't matter. Chase investments before you've built yourself. Listen to broke people. Pick a partner who fears your growth. But building wealth, real wealth, is the opposite. It's about patience, discipline, conviction, investing in yourself, choosing the right circle, choosing the right partner, and all that stuff. So wealth isn't just about money. It's about confidence, freedom, and the ability to live on your terms. So here's the final question I'll leave you with. Will you keep chasing shortcuts that keep you stuck, or will you finally stop, dig in, and build something that lasts? Because the truth is, discipline will make you rich, and quitting, it will keep you broke. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you in the next one.